Today on Find the Right Road, I'm going to review this 2021 Ford Bronco Sport Badlands Edition, so stick around. The Bronco name has a long and storied history in Ford's past. The original Bronco was introduced in 1966, and it was a large two-door SUV. This vehicle, of course, is nothing like that vehicle. This is a compact SUV, and it's designed for people who live the active lifestyle. Think people in their 20s and 30s. It's often been referred to as the baby Bronco. One of the things that makes this compact SUV different from many of its competitors is all-wheel drive is standard equipment on all the different models. There are 4 different model Bronco Sports. The base model, which starts at about $27,000. There's the Big Bend, the Outer Banks, and then there's the top-of-the-line off-roading model, which is what this one is, called the Badlands Edition. And the Badlands starts at about $33,000. Okay, now technically there is a 5th one. It was called the First Edition. When Ford first announced the vehicle in July of 2020, they took 2,000 orders for the First Edition and sold them all out immediately. So the first thing I want to do is kind of go around the outside of the vehicle and show you some of its features. The first thing I want to point out about this particular vehicle is the color. Now this is kind of a bluish, grayish color, and Ford refers to this as Area 51. The Badlands Edition comes with 17-inch wheels, and these are carbonized, gray, low-gloss aluminum wheels. The tires are Pirellis, and they're designed as off-road tires. They're 225/65 R17s. Now, as you look at the side of the vehicle, you may or may not notice this off-road edition has additional ground clearance. So this vehicle is 8.8 inches from ground to the underside. And then as you go back here, you'll notice it has a safari-style roof where the back is actually higher than the front is. And the purpose for that, obviously, is to provide additional headroom for the people sitting in the back seats. Now, it does come with roof rails on each side, and there are a variety of options that Ford is offering on this vehicle to utilize this rack for those active consumers. So you can get cross rails, you can get a basket that mounts up there. There's an awning that comes off the side with poles that come down. And there's even a 2-person tent that will mount up here between the rails. Now, as we come around to the rear of the vehicle, you'll notice that it does have a glass hatch that does open. So down here, you see you have your backup camera, and you have your trunk release the door is on this side, and the glass release is on this side. So as I push this button, it's got a little handle. You'll notice that it flips up. One of the nice little Easter eggs, actually a couple of them that are back here in the vehicle, is here in the glass on the inside is actually an image of an old Bronco with what looks to be a couple of surfboards hanging out the back. That was kind of cool. And then here, where the glass closes, you'll see that it kind of has an engraved image of kind of a mountain range. Once again, emphasizing the active lifestyle consumer that's going to drive this vehicle. On the rear hatch, you'll see the only Ford logo anywhere in the vehicle. Everything else in this vehicle is referred to as Bronco or has the kicking Bronco horse logo throughout, but this is your only Ford logo. Now, as we go down further, you'll see this has the optional $395 Class 2 towing hitch package. It will tow up to 2,200 pounds, and Ford also offers as an option a ski rack that can mount into this trailer hitch. Now, as I open the rear, we'll show you that it has a rubberized floor in it as opposed to having a carpeted floor. And that obviously is for that active consumer. Maybe you're a scuba diver, for example, and you want to put your tank in there and toss your wetsuit in there and it's going to get all wet or all dirty. Well, you'll easily be able to hose all that out. And as I lift the floor up, You'll notice one of the nice features of this vehicle is it does come with a full-size spare tire. One of the other cool little things that they did with this vehicle is on the passenger side, you have a bottle opener. So you just stick your bottle in there, pop it off, and you're ready to go. Over here on the passenger side, you'll notice you have two carabiners, and actually there's two more over on the driver's side, as well as a 110 volt standard NEMA 515 wall outlet socket for power, and your 12 volt is here as well. There's a light on this side. There isn't a matching one on the driver's side. Not sure why that is. The light's kind of cool because it does have the kicking Bronco logo in the middle of it. As you come around over here on the driver's side in the back, you have a button here, and this button turns on your floodlights. That you actually have LED lights here that are adjustable. So if you're unpacking or packing at night and you want the ability to put some light on what you're doing, you have that option in this vehicle. That's kind of a nice little feature. You do have split 60/40 rear seats that do fold down. Now you may have to move your headrest in order to do it, but you push the button on the side and your seat flips down to give you more cargo space. Now as we move around to the front of the vehicle, I wanted to show you these headlamps have kind of a line here that points towards your Bronco logo on the front. That, I believe, is your daytime running lamps. Below it, you'll see you have LED fog lights, as well as, because this is the Badlands Off-Road Edition, you have tow hooks on the front of the vehicle. And then here, we actually have a camera with a washer. That camera is very helpful when you put the drive mode in crawl mode and you're crawling over rocks and boulders. You'll be able to see what's in front of you. As we open up the hood, what you'll see in this Badlands Edition is the upgraded 2-liter EcoBoost 4-cylinder turbocharged engine. It has 245 horsepower and 275 pound-feet of torque. In the base model, you get a 1.5-liter EcoBoost engine that's 181 horsepower and 190 pound-feet of torque. The 2-liter EcoBoost engine gets 21 miles per gallon city and 26 miles per gallon on the highway. Now looking at the driver's door, we have our usual controls, your power door locks, you got your power windows, you got your power mirrors. This model has the Bang & Olufsen 10-speaker upgraded sound system, so you can see one of the Bang & Olufsen speakers here. And of course, you have your pocket in your door for your bottle of water. And as we look at the driver's seat, you do have power controls, including a power lumbar support. You've got your Bronco logo here on the door sill. One of the things they've done is the floors. This happens to be the front passenger side, but it's true on the driver's side as well as the rear seats. These are not carpeted. This is a rubberized floor, once again, just like the back. Easy to wash it down and clean it out. This Badlands Edition also includes the optional Ford Co-Pilot 360 Assist Plus package. That includes your auto high beam headlights, your blind spot information system with cross traffic alert, your lane keeping system, your automatic emergency braking, and your rear view camera. And that package is $795. Now as we climb in the vehicle, you'll notice, and I close the door, you got this cool little graphic that plays in your center console between your tachometer on the left and your speedometer on the right. Got even a few shooting stars going across there. That's kind of a neat little graphic they've got. At the same time, when you get in the vehicle, the center LCD screen comes on and the rocks roll across the ground and rise up to form a bucking bronco. Another really neat graphics that they included. So now we're going to turn the vehicle on. So you got your engine start-stop right here. We'll turn it on. And your center console will come up. This is an 8-inch touchscreen, and it has a variety of features you might imagine. You've got your audio, you've got phone, navigation, you have a series of apps. This is part of the Ford Sync 3 system. And of course you got the settings, Bluetooth, of course, Apple CarPlay, and Android Auto compatible. Now as we move down beneath the 8-inch touchscreen, you'll notice you have a nice little shelf with a rubber insert for placing items. And as we go down farther, you see you've got your dual climate control. It does have heated seats for both driver and passenger. Even shows it's got a heated steering wheel capability. And then beneath that, you have a USB-A, a USB-C, a 12-volt. You have a little area here, maybe you toss your change. And then you have your wireless charging for your cell phone. As we move down, you have 2 cup holders, as well as your transmission controls. So now I'm kind of old school. I do prefer the handle that I could rest my hand on, but I understand why manufacturers are moving more and more to these dials for your transmission, because it frees up that space so that you can easily reach your cell phone or any items that you've left up here in front. Transmission dial has a manual mode. You just push the button in the middle and that will switch you over to manual. As we go down, you have your electronic parking brake. And here you have your auto hold, which is a cool feature. You roll up to a stoplight and you don't want to hold your foot on the brake while you're waiting for the light to go green. You can push this button and turn this on and take your foot off the brake, and the vehicle will hold you in place. Will leave the brake lights on for the person behind you, and as soon as you touch the accelerator to move forward, the car will move forward and the brakes will be released. So that's kind of a cool feature. Below the auto hold, now you get into GOAT modes. G-O-A-T, and no, that doesn't stand for greatest of all time. That actually stands for goes over all terrains. And so your standard Bronco Sport models come with 5 driving modes. You get normal, eco, sport, slippery, and sand. All of them are pretty self-explanatory. But on the Badlands Edition, you get 2 more. You get one called Rock Crawl, and you get one called Mud Ruts. And so if I turn the dial and I move it over to Rock Crawl, and I come up, you'll notice that the front camera has come on to show me what's going to be in front of me. And as I come over to my center dash, you notice that the background has changed because now I'm in Rock Crawl mode. Around the GOAT modes dial, you have 4 buttons. You got a 4-wheel drive lock. You've got a locking differential, which is helpful if you're doing that rock crawl, for example. You have your traction control off. And then you have this, which is called trail control. And this is an interesting kind of, I'd almost call it a low-speed cruise control. If you're off-roading, you can actually push that button and it will operate at speeds below 20 miles an hour in a cruise control, which is kind of an interesting feature. The steering wheel is a 3-spoke design. On your right-hand side, you've got your menu controls and your phone controls. And then on your left-hand side, you have your cruise control, your lane assist, and your volume up and down for your stereo. And then if you use the manual mode in the 8-speed automatic transmission, the paddle flippers are on the back of the steering wheel. Now as I hop around here in the back seat, now it is a compact SUV, so I'm 5'10". I have plenty of headroom, and the seat is where I had it when I was driving the vehicle, and I still have plenty of knee room here for myself. Now if I were 6'3", it might be a little more of a problem, but certainly at 5'10", it works just fine. And then you notice it has a zippered pocket on each side behind the seat. And so, you know, you're carrying your iPad or a magazine or something, you can just slide it in there and zip it up. In the center below your vent, you do have a power outlet. It is a NEMA 515 standard wall outlet. Kind of surprising they didn't include USB-C and USB-A back here as well. Another interesting little touch that Ford included with this vehicle is on the side of each seat is a pocket. So just a little additional storage space if you want to stick something while you're traveling, or maybe even something for your backseat passengers to use. Of course, you have your flip-down armrest with 2 cup holders between the seats. One of the other interesting things about this vehicle is this, what they put down below your zippered pocket. This has a bunch of little places to put things. So perhaps you're carrying your sunglasses with you, and so you want to just hang your sunglasses there, you can. Or maybe you got your Swiss Army knife, because of course it is part of the active lifestyle. You can slide that in there. And so that's really neat to have. Also, on the passenger side, this seat has a hidden pocket. And so if I reach down here, I can actually push a button and open this up, and I have a secret storage compartment. Need to put that iPad somewhere or a laptop? There you go. You slide it underneath, and nobody will know it's there. So, what's it like to drive the Ford Bronco Sport? One of the first things you notice is, even though it's a compact SUV, it is an SUV that you feel like you sit up pretty high, and you look out over that hood with the bulges on each side. It's kind of a different feeling than I think I was expecting it to feel a little bit lower. Certainly this Badlands Edition is comfortable to ride in. Seats are comfortable. I love having the heated seats, for example, in the wintertime. You get good visibility out the back through the rearview mirror, although I'll have to say, if you look over your shoulder, the C-pillars on this are rather large, and so there is a bit of a blind spot there. So it's very nice that Ford has included, of course, the blind spot alert, because that is something you're going to want with this vehicle. One of the interesting things in this vehicle is it is capable of knowing what the speed limit is on the road I'm traveling. So you notice in the display here on the left, it says speed limit 35 miles an hour. And if I accelerate past 35, you will see it starts flashing at me to warn me that, hey, I'm speeding, so I probably should think about slowing down. I do like the driving position of the vehicle. I had forgotten to mention that it does have both a tilt and a telescopic steering wheel, so you can adjust it to where it feels most comfortable for you. While I wouldn't describe this vehicle as fast, I will say the 2-liter EcoBoost engine does give it the amount of power that you're going to want for passing zones and that sort of thing. If I put my foot down, it certainly gets up and goes, and you hear a little bit coming from the exhaust note. But once again, it's not a sports car. So overall, I would say if you're in the market for a vehicle, a compact or a subcompact sport utility vehicle, I would tell you this is definitely one you're going to want to check out, because you might find that this is exactly what you're looking for. And so I think Ford is actually going to be very successful with this vehicle. I think a lot of customers are going to find it gives them all of the feature and creature comforts they're looking for. And for those active lifestyle consumers in their 20s and 30s, I think they're going to enjoy this. And that is my review of the 2021 Ford Bronco Sport. I want to thank my friend Joshua from Milnes Ford of Lapeer, Michigan, for giving me the opportunity to test drive this vehicle. If you're interested in seeing this vehicle or any of the other Fords that they have in stock, I'll put a link in the description below. My name is Tom Stroup. You've been watching Find the Right Road. If you enjoyed that video, please click the like button and consider subscribing to our channel. Thanks, and we'll see you next time.